Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, WWE X Figure Setup Style. Let's go.
What's up, guys? The phenomenal AJ Styles, and you're watching Bretto Live.
This is episode 281 of the WWE Week in Review Action Figure Setup. We're starting off with Monday Night Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan. This show is jam-packed, full of amazing backstage segments, in-ring action, great storytelling, continuation of storylines, some great stuff. We're going to talk about absolutely everything, and then about halfway through the video, we're going to be jumping into SmackDown. So if you want to skip to SmackDown, feel free to do so. I recommend sitting through Raw, because there's some pretty good stuff to talk about. Opening up the show with a banger promo, the Ring General and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther makes his presence felt and comes out and says he's still World Heavyweight Champion even though he lost to Cody Rhodes. We don't talk about that though, but luckily we had Damian Priest to remind Gunther that he lost to Cody Rhodes, and Damian Priest is next in line. He's next in line for the World Heavyweight title. They made the match official for War Games, so it's going to be Priest, Gunther, World Heavyweight Championship at War Games. Priest, while he's talking crap to Gunther, he gets interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser gets interrupted by Gunther, because Ludwig Kaiser was trying to back up Gunther, but Gunther's like, I don't need the help, and then it all broke down. Damian Priest would swing at Ludwig Kaiser, but Gunther would not take a swing at Damian Priest. Gunther in this promo, I noticed, was just very chill. He was very, no, I don't want to attack, no, I'm kind of very timid. Timid is the word. He was very timid in this promo. He didn't want to touch Priest. He didn't want to throw down with Priest. He really wanted nothing to do with Damian Priest in this promo. I really liked this right here. It's set up for a match later in the night where Damian Priest would face Ludwig Kaiser. I'll talk about that in a bit, but I'm very excited for their War Games match. It's going to be good. Kairi Sane faced the PFC, Shayna Baszler, debut of Zoe Stark here in the Week in Review, and Sonya Deville. This is 6-women tag team action. Obviously, Io Sky is the new #1 contender for the Women's World Championship, so obviously she's going to get the pinfall in the match. She's going to hit the over the moonsault, get the pinfall victory for Damage Control. And man, I'm happy that Dakota Kai is back, bro. I swear, Dakota Kai is always getting injured. It's good to see her back. Good to see Damage Control in full force here. They're just missing one person, Asuka. Where is Asuka? Get her back on screen. Come on. Anybody else just absolutely love this storyline told backstage where Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso, obviously they need a 5th guy for their War Games match. If it's going to be 5-on-5, it needs to be authentic War Games. They need a 5th member. But so does Solo Sikoa. Throughout the night, Sami Zayn would approach Seth Rollins. He tried to recruit Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins said he would never team with Roman Reigns ever again. Seth Rollins would later be approached by Solo Sikoa. Seth Rollins would tell off Solo Sikoa in a very disrespectful manner, calling him a wannabe tribal chief. Jimmy Uso would approach Braun Breaker. What an asset that would be. Braun Breaker's been in War Games in NXT, so that would work out. But I'm curious to see who the 5th members are going to be for both teams, because both teams have 4 men. They both need an extra guy. Kofi Kingston went one-on-one with Pete Dunne. He tried to back up R-Truth, because R-Truth, he got himself in a little predicament backstage. Kofi Kingston stepped in when Xavier Woods told him not to, because it's none of their business. They had a one-on-one match. Pete Dunne, Kofi Kingston match was okay. We did see Xavier Woods clothesline Pete Dunne on the ringside area while the match is still going on, but the referee didn't see it, right? So the referee didn't see it, so it's not a DQ, but Kofi saw it, and Kofi's like, dude, why would you do that? I had him. I could have beat him. But that just distracted Kofi Kingston, allowed for Pete Dunne to pick up the victory, hit the bitter end, and another loss to Kofi Kingston because of Xavier Woods. But Xavier Woods is just trying to help, but it's just questionable tactics, that's all. Slow New Day breakup, I love it. I think it's great. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio got into it backstage. Luckily for Liv Morgan getting in between them, otherwise I feel like they would have thrown down. Dominic was throwing jabs, saying that he got closer to the World Heavyweight title than Finn Balor has ever since losing to Damian Priest. This was just like a very, very hairline crack forming in the new Judgment Day. I was like, whoa. Luckily for Liv getting between Finn and Dom, otherwise it would have broke down. Bronson Reed is indeed not done with Seth freaking Rollins. Bronson Reed called out Seth Rollins. Here he comes, and it gets into a brawl. It's not over. We're going to be seeing another match between these two next week on Monday Night Raw. Made official by Adam Pearce. They would brawl it out again, get broken up by security and officials again. Bronson Reed would punch every single dude in the face. It would brawl all the way into the commercial, and then it would kind of just end off there. I am so excited for their match next week, and Bronson Reed, I hate to say it, better win. Bronson Reed needs that win. He can't lose back-to-back to Seth. I hate to say that. I love Seth, but no, Bronson Reed needs to take that dub. I'm glad this is continuing. It needs to. Damian Priest would get his matchup against Ludwig Kaiser, one-on-one. one. Match was pretty good. As you can see, I set up right here. You guys know how Damian Priest does that like clap to the side of the ears of his opponent? That's what I tried to go for here. I think it looks pretty cool. Damian Priest would pick up the victory over Ludwig Kaiser with the South of Heaven. After the match, he would stare down Gunther, who was up on the entrance ramp. But Gunther, this is unlike Gunther. I feel like Gunther would have got right in there, attacked Priest after the match, but he didn't. Gunther is afraid of Priest. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. But I feel like ever since Gunther getting pinned by Cody, that really like opened up his eyes. Like, whoa, I could actually lose. I can lose. Damian Priest on a roll here. Over this dispute between Sheamus and Braun Breaker backstage, they had a little altercation after a speed match because the time limit ran out. So Braun Breaker was talking crap about Sheamus here backstage, and Sheamus couldn't help but overhear him, approaches him, and challenge him to a match. He's got a match next week, and he's going to be fighting Braun Breaker one-on-one. I can't wait. Sheamus said the Intercontinental title always eluded him, and he said he wants to add it to the collection. I'm excited. Breaker versus Sheamus, that's going to be good. The Miz, I really think, had all of us, okay? The Wyatt Six, they had him captured last week. Remember? They had him captured Heath Ledger Joker style, but they let him go because the Miz said, I changed. I'll never do anything bad ever again. I've changed. And he had me freaking fooled. The Final Testament dragged the Miz out to the ring, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the Wyatt Six is going to save the Miz, right? They're going to save the Miz. They did not save the Miz. They would enter the ring, I believe, to possibly save the Miz, but the Miz would turn. He would just randomly hit Eric Rowan with a steel chair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's with the Final Testament. Scumbags. The Final Testament laid out the Wyatt Six. Literally, this is like the first time ever that the Wyatt Six has looked weak. They got laid out by the Final Testament, but after they did the laying out, like, I wouldn't be so sure you laid out Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, was literally laughing after getting taken out, and Karrion Kross, you could see the worry on Karrion Kross's face. Like, he is cooked. Bro is absolutely cooked. Like, I'm just saying, the Wyatt Six is going to kill the Final Testament and the Miz, because, man, I feel like they were coming to save the Miz. But, yeah, no, Miz, he's still bad. Main event of the show was for the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Current champs going up against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan looking to add another title to her shoulder. That would not happen. Bianca Belair would hit the KOD to pick up the victory and retain the tag titles. And keep in mind, Bianca just pinned the World Women's Champion. How insane is that? And she took the spotlight from Jade. That could piss off Jade a little bit. Anyways, during the match, we'd see a bunch of people come out, like Nia, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi would come out, Io Sky came out because she's the #1 contender. It was just absolute chaos. Even after the match, they all kind of took out Nia Jax, all took their fury out on her. It was just absolutely chaos to end the show. All like the current women of WWE were kind of out there just brawling it out. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, is Bianca pinning Liv. That is huge because that pisses off Jade, and that could possibly gain Bianca a women's championship match in the future. Insane stuff. That was Monday Night Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm going to give this show a solid 7 out of 10. Thought it was a really freaking good show. My favorite match was probably Ludwig Kaiser versus Damian Priest, and my favorite moment was probably the timid Gunther. I liked that a lot, man. Seriously. The timid Gunther really caught me off guard. Insane stuff. What do you guys say we jump into Friday Night SmackDown? Let's do it. Milwaukee, Wisconsin had a great episode of SmackDown, and we're about to run through it right now. We got the 5th member of Solo's side of the Bloodline for War Games. Insane stuff that I can't wait to talk about. We're going to run through it, play by play, everything in order, how it happened. Let's do it. Opening up the show with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Man, I wanted Kevin Owens so bad, and so did Cody Rhodes. He's like, Kevin, get your butt out here right now. He didn't get Kevin Owens, and he didn't get Adam Pearce either, as you can see right here. He got Nick Aldis, the GM of SmackDown, of course. Nick Aldis coming out basically saying that Kevin Owens injuring Randy Orton whole situation is being dealt with internally, so Cody Rhodes is not going to be able to get his hands on Kevin Owens anytime soon. But then Cody Rhodes kind of convinced him to bring Kevin Owens to SmackDown next week. So in Salt Lake City, Utah, Kevin Owens is going to be there. Kevin Owens replied via iPhone message and said, yeah, I'll be there and I'm going to do my job. So it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens going face to face next week in Salt Lake City, Utah. Gotta think that's going to be ending in an all-out brawl. I can't wait for it. Kevin versus Cody part 2, but this time Kevin is heavily heel. I love it. I think it's awesome. I can't wait for it, and hopefully they make it official for like War Games, like Kevin versus Cody for the title again. I think it'd be great. It's round 1 of the United States Championship for the women's side of things. I love how these matches are triple threat matches for round 1. So cool. So our first one here was B-Fab, Bayley, and Candice LeRae. Pretty solid stuff here. It was cool to see B-Fab in action. We don't normally see that, so it was pretty pretty cool to see her in the ring instead of on ringside managing the Street Profits. Match was pretty good. Bayley did pick up the victory. Candice LeRae came close. B-Fab even came close here and there. Bayley was able to sneak the victory by rolling up B-Fab to pick up the victory. Good. Hey, as long as Candice LeRae isn't winning, I don't care. Bayley one step closer to becoming the first ever Women's United States Champion. United States Championship Open Challenge. LA Knight giving me John Cena flashbacks. This was great. So we saw LA Knight US Open Challenge get responded by Legado del Fantasma. And you got to think, of course, if LDF is coming out, you got to think it's going to be Santos, right? Santos going to respond to the match. But LA Knight said, Santos, I already beat you. I don't want to face you. I want to face Bretto, who's staring me down over here like I have barbecue sauce on my face. He's calling out Elektra Lopez. I found that hilarious. We jumped into the match, Bretto versus LA Knight. The match was actually really good. Berto's so talented. LA Knight is obviously great. Match was good. Hit him with the BFT. LA Knight retains the US title. But what happened after the match is where it gets important here. Shinsuke Nakamura makes a return, makes an impact. I love the face paint on Nakamura. He looked like an absolute stud. Takes out LA Knight, drops him into the center of the ring, and just dips up out of there. Nakamura means business. He's coming for that United States Championship. It's going to be Nakamura versus LA Knight next. I think it's great. Nakamura's not my favorite of all time, but it's cool to see him back in the ring here on SmackDown. Solo Sikoa's bloodline is making an impact more and more every single week. Obviously, both bloodlines in the Civil War are looking for fifth members for War Games. So Solo Sikoa got his fifth member, but before this happened, obviously Solo's going to make his entrance with his new bloodline. And then here comes Roman Reigns' bloodline, not wasting any time, jumping right into it. No words were exchanged. They just jumped in the ring, started brawling with the bloodline, 4-on-4, but then it would become 5-on-4 when Bronson Reed would make his presence felt, jump in the ring side by side with Jacob Fatu, and they would wreak havoc. Roman Reigns did the best he could, started fighting back a little bit, which I loved, but then the numbers game caught up to him. 5-on-4, man. Bronson Reed is the fifth member. He hit tsunamis on Roman Reigns. That's insane. And he basically acknowledged Solo Sikoa, threw his one to the sky, and Bronson Reed's going to be the fifth member in War Games. You got to think that means that Seth Rollins is going to be the guy. Seth Rollins, the man that said he would never team with Roman Reigns. He's dealing with Bronson Reed right now. But now Bronson Reed is dealing with Roman. So now Seth has no choice. Seth has no choice. Seth has to join the bloodline for one night only, team with his arch enemy, or his brother, or his former brother, or his brother me, if you will, Roman Reigns, to take out Bronson Reed. Can't wait till Seth Rollins has to join Roman Reigns. War Games is going to be so good, by the way. War Games is going to be insane. I loved Bronson Reed being a part of this bloodline. It's amazing. This match was so good. I wanted a winner so bad, but we didn't get one. It was Street Profits versus MCMG, Motor City Machine Guns. Match was great. It was for the tag team championships. The Street Profits were showing a very aggressive side because they need those tag titles, man. No more playing games. No more goofing off. They were playing it aggressive, and I loved the match up until the end. Tommaso Ciampa from DIY, who's pissed off. He feels like DIY should have been in this match. He feels like DIY should be tag team champions. He's pissed off. He gets involved, causing a disqualification, and then he pushes down Johnny Gargano. Because Gargano tried to come out and, even things up because he's really good friends with Alex Shelley of the Motor City Machine Guns. And Ciampa's like, nah, pushes down Gargano, storms out of there, and the Street Profits are already pissed off. So Angelo Dawkins fires a shot on Alex Shelley. Everybody's pissed. And, it's just chaos thanks to Tommaso Ciampa. They could go one of two ways with this. They could either have Gargano also turn heel, or Ciampa turns on Gargano. We'll have to wait and see. I have a feeling Gargano's just going to turn heel if I had to guess. But yeah, this is crazy stuff. Hopefully the Profits get their rematch because they got screwed. Our main event of the night, the match was actually really good. It was for the Women's Championship, Naomi versus Nia Jax. Naomi pinning Nia Jax a couple weeks ago, so why not give her match here tonight? And Naomi got freaking screwed too, man. Naomi had Nia pinned so many times. First of all, Naomi's going to get distracted by the Titantron because Liv and Raquel randomly take out the women's tag team champions backstage, and you guys already know Naomi's close with Jade and Bianca, so that's going to distract her a little bit. And then here comes Tiffany Stratton jumping on the apron. Here comes Bayley. Here comes Candice LeRae. Everybody was just jumping on ringside and getting involved and distracting Naomi here. Naomi had this W, but it was taken away from her. It was taken away from her. Nia wins the match with the Annihilator. 1, 2, 3. Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton celebrate with her. I was like, are you kidding me? Should have gave this to Naomi. But after really thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute. They can't, because Tiffany Stratton needs to cash in Money in the Bank on Nia Jax. That's ultimately what's going to happen here. So they can't take that title off of Nia just yet. So now I understand. But man, Naomi got screwed. Show did not end there. Roman Reigns made a phone call at the end of the night because Jey Uso told him to. He made a phone call to the Wise Man, but it went immediately to voicemail. So maybe the Wise Man blocked the Tribal Chief. There's no way in hell he would ever do that. But he shouldn't be making a call to the Wise Man. He should be making a call to Seth frickin' Rollins. That's what should be happening right now. But I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this for War Games. I cannot wait for War Games. It's going to be insane. SmackDown this week, really decent show. Favorite moment was Bronson Reed joining Solo Sikoa. That is so cool. My favorite match was probably Bretto versus LA Knight. I like that match a lot. And ranking the show out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Let me know your rankings down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. This is Bretto Live, signing out.